Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the, for all intents and purposes, final Board of Selectmen meeting for the town of East Long Meadow. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We could have a moment of silence to reflect on our duties as servants of the town and to pray for the safety and safe return of our men and women in the service, both overseas and in the United States. Thank you. In accordance with Mass General Law, I have to announce that this meeting is being recorded by both the Board of Selectmen's office and East Long Meadow Cable Access, and I have to ask if anyone else is recording the meeting. Seeing no one, we can proceed. Our first appointment is our police chief, Jeff D'Alessio. Come on up, Jeff. All right, you got a couple items here. I think three. Okay. First is motor vehicle policy.
Yeah, the motor vehicle policy is something that I'd like to see if the board takes a look at and would grant permission to add that to our policy and procedures. We do not have one now, so it's a new policy. We're one of the area departments that doesn't have a policy on when we do inventory on a motor vehicle. The letter there kind of explains a little bit of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the protection and what the purpose of it is. The policy before you has been looked at. Yep. I got in late, I apologize.
That's okay.
Basically what that policy does, little cover letter there, it's been brought down to the DA's office, Hampton County DA's office. They review it. They review all the area department's policy because it can go to court for issues and using that policy. But they've made their corrections, what they thought was necessary, and the final version is submitted to you guys tonight. That's it right there.
Okay, now I'll ask the board. Obviously, we won't be meeting after this, so is this, I don't know if you had a chance to review it, or if this is something we should, or do you want to vote on it, or do you want to hold up till the town council?
Because I'm through the board.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was talking to my kid down in Connecticut, and he asked me if we had that because a couple of guys got in trouble. That some of the druggies said they had stuff in their car when they didn't have it.
I mean, it's pretty standard for every
Definitely,
department.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is kind of like a boilerplate, we have what we need to it, and like I said, it's already gone down for the district attorney's office to review it. Certainly, if you feel that you need to bring it before town council, I understand that also. But they have a legal, obviously the legal office down there for policies.
Okay.
And it's something that we should have done a long time ago, but here it is today.
Okay. All right.
I'm talking a long time ago.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Springfield's had one of these forever.
Yeah, most departments had them forever.
And it's pretty much the same
Just
thing.
lucky nothing happened in between there.
Yeah.
And this is, you said this is a boilerplate, right?
Well, it's kind of a boilerplate. You take it from one department or another, and I don't
Because
know.
I noticed, unless it's just a form that was started there. Is it the Worcester Police Department motor vehicle form?
It could be. It could be part of it,
Yeah,
unless there might be a
a typo? I
yeah.
was just curious if that was
But
something
we
that
have we've drawn
that they
from different
started.
communities
Yeah, okay.
and stuff like that. But certainly I left some things out as far as the number. There's got to be a policy number attached to that and stuff, but pending approval. And
Okay, any further comments from the board?
No, if you need a form, I can get one from my kid for you.
I think there's one attached at the very end of the page there.
End of it?
That form is just a, maybe not, there is a form that came with it, and I
Okay.
apologize.
That's okay.
But what happens is we'll probably get that in triplicate, one that leaves with the tow company, because they're responsible, one that stays with us, and one that goes to the owner of the vehicle.
Okay, and any questions or anything? I think, obviously, this is something, like you said, it's been a long time coming, and I don't think it's something that the town council would object to. So I have no problem proposing a motion to approve the East Long Meadow Police Department policy regarding motor vehicle inventory as stated.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
There you go.
And then, thank you very much, and I just might add, with policies, you know, they come up for review all the time, and if things gotta be tweaked, obviously, we would look at that and see how it rolls out, and if we have to change the way we do business a little bit, then you know, policies are always tweaked.
All right, great. Next year, you want to talk about a provisional sergeant.
Yeah, so you should have another supplement hanging out, it's kinda late again. It goes back to what we met a couple weeks ago. I came before the board to talk about how the promotional process, the promotional, the command staff was
Mhm.
lacking because of promotions and retirements, et cetera. So this is like, kinda like stage two, if you so see fit to enact on this tonight, it'll bring the command staff up to full staffing. It'll leave a little shortage in the patrol staff, but not as much as the benefits of having a full command staff present, you know, all the time. And the pay's a little different, so we talked about paying one way or the other. The sergeant's rate's a little higher than the patrolman's rate to fill for.
But I'm going to guess with the number of officers you're down, your budget probably can
Right,
handle
so,
it as far as wage, the salary portion, not going into
Yeah.
overtime and whatnot, so.
right. So we're gonna pay a little bit, I think this is the lesser of two evils right now, and with the new hires coming on board, we'll be able to fill that patrol staff that we've taken out in the last couple of hires.
Okay, and obviously, like you said, this is provisional, and then at some point, a list comes out.
Correct, so that's when there's no eligible list of candidates through the civil service process. And once we do have a test in the fall, and we get results from that test, and there's eligible candidates on that list, then we can come back before the appointing authority in town and make a permanent. Now, whether or not it's this person or not remains to be seen.
Mhm.
But until we have an eligible list from civil service, this is basically the solution.
Yeah, okay. Any other comments from the board?
No, I'm all set.
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
All right, I'd like to propose a motion to allow the chief to appoint Officer Michael Ingalls as a provisional sergeant,
Correct,
So,
effective July 10th, 2016.
correct.
so moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
And I just let you know that Officer Ingalls is in the audience tonight.
Yes.
Thank you.
congratulations. You get to take the 4th of July off and then start the week after. So you get-
No, we don't.
Well, no, I mean, at least as far as being a supervisor.
Right,
so.
that's one of the reasons behind, we just
Yeah.
don't throw them into the fire pit right away.
Oh, come on. All right. And I think the third item may be executive, so.
That's up to you, if you want to, you
I
know,
think, is Jim's coming, right, Donahue? Okay.
if you need my
Yeah.
input from that, I'll be more than happy to.
Why don't you hang around for a
Sure.
couple minutes, and then hopefully you'll get here fairly soon, because
Absolutely.
it's not a cumbersome agenda, so hopefully we'll get.
That's fine, no, I'll just.
All right, thanks.
And the other, yeah, I think we're good.
All right, great.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
thank you for the last time. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Won't be
Jeff.
doing this again, so Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm glad you didn't get too sunburned standing out there watching them pave the road.
Appreciate it, thank you.
All right. Our next appointment at 6:10 is our town clerk, treasurer, collector, Tom Florence. I don't know why I said it like it's a game show.
Come on down.
Like Kramer outside.
Good, Tom. How are you? You did? Yeah. Okay.
All right, so you're here for a couple of items.
Yes,
We're signing, bond signing.
yes. This is, we've done this before, but this is for the bands, the bond anticipation notes for the Harkness Road Pump Station and the Pine Knoll Pool. After 2 years, we were able to go out, you know, a band is a bond anticipation note, anticipating we're gonna go out long-term, but it allowed us to just pay interest only, which allowed us to pay down the debt in interest on the long-term debt, which was great. But now it's time to basically settle up with these, and as Paul knows, he's
Now comes the
Oh, yeah.
it's,
painful part,
Let's not pay, well, it's just,
it's the,
reality.
it's carpal tunnel time.
yeah, the first part, it's the bonds themselves, there's 6 individual, per bond, there's 6 original executed copies we have to do, so that's gonna be a lot of the signing, so. Again, I've done the seal, I've signed where I'm supposed to sign, you have to sign under where it says Board of Selectmen, for these 6 originals, so I don't know if you wanna just
Yeah, we'll
start,
start from the left and work our way
Okay.
right.
and it says, sign here, and then you just
Sign there?
sign here.
All right, where the little sticky is.
That's it.
I'll try not to screw it up.
Yeah. And it's a process to borrow, well, you know, it costs money to borrow money, it
Mhm.
costs money to collect money.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
There we go.
Actually, you know what, maybe you should, if there's others to sign, we could start.
Yeah.
Is there, how many of them are there?
Yeah, there's 5
Actually,
sections you have to sign, but yeah, if you wanna just pass them down
Yeah, that's what's
and
good.
just keep them keep an order, that would be. There's really no easy way to do this other than just,
So you said there are 3 copies?
actually, there's,
Two, right?
yeah,
2 to sign?
Yeah.
And 3, all 3 copies?
Yeah. wherever it says sign here, it's,
This has gotta be riveting television.
what's that?
This has to be riveting television.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's necessary, but that's how the Department of Revenue, as far as borrowing money like this,
Mm-hmm.
you have to do it at a scheduled Board of Selectmen's hearing.
Oh, they don't want anybody-
So year end, imagine how many other cities and towns are doing what you're doing tonight.
Yeah.
And while you're signing, just for that information, throughout the year, town meeting has approved $554,000 for water projects. Thanks, Bill. Are gonna be bonded, and we're looking at possible refinancing of some older bonds to take advantage of lower interest rates. So during the course of the year, we may try to bundle those 2 borrowings into another refinancing.
Nice.
The clerk, are you the clerk?
Yes.
The next one, you need a vote of the Board of Selectmen, and the clerk has to read
That whole
the
big
first,
spiel at the top.
yeah, the first 2 things at the top, and then instead of reading the rest, and I remember Paul did this a couple years ago, just say, and according to the rest of the document here too. So instead of reading, you can read the first 2 paragraphs, but instead of reading all, if you just say that after that, that works.
All right, I'll try that. Try
Okay,
not to
and
mess
then
it
you-
up. I, the clerk of the Board of Selectmen of the Town of East Long Meadow, Massachusetts, the town certify that a meeting of the board held June 21st, 2016, of which meeting all members of the board were duly notified and at which a quorum was present. The following votes were unanimously passed, all of which appear upon the official record of the board in my custody. Voted that the sale of the $1,181,000 general obligation municipal purpose loan of 2016 bonds of the town dated June 29th, 2016, to Fidelity Capital Markets, a division of National Financial Services, LLC, at the price of $1,287,946.17. And accrued interest, if any, is hereby approved and confirmed. The bond shall be payable on June 15th of the years and in the principal amounts bear interest at the respective rates as follows, according to the rest of the document here too.
Very good.
Okay.
So we
That's it.
have to make a motion
Yeah,
that just.
I'd like to propose a motion to, let's see, what would it be, to approve the where are we here? The sale of the general obligation municipal purpose bonds, or
Exactly.
municipal purpose loan of 2016 bonds of the town.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. So I think it's just the clerk that has to sign all those pages. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Don't worry about it, you get this sign more.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm signing that. This is the signature no litigation official statement that we, here, this is good for the selectmen. It's the preliminary official statement. What it is, it's a lot of analysis and background, and it's a snapshot, you've seen these, of the town. It tells you exactly the condition of the town at this moment, right here. Here. And what this does, it's a signature, no litigation, official statement certificate, that the official statement was done in accordance with the accuracy and it was approved. We had a bond council meeting with Standard & Poor's and bond council to go over all the financial situation of the town, if it's new growth, if it's current numbers. And so it's all the current accurate snapshot is right in there. And this just says that there's no litigation or nothing pending with that. So all I have to do is just sign 4 spots, all 3 members of the board. Thanks. Thanks, Billy.
Getting there, Tom.
Thanks. Good job.
Stickers.
I know, well,
Yeah, you can't pick up the page. Exactly.
I mean, it's good, tells you where to go, but
Yeah.
it doesn't help me get there.
So,
Thanks. Next one's another 4 areas tax certificate. And signed by the treasurer and the board of selectmen. And this last one, just the continuing disclosure certificate, how everything's stated in there, the words are accurate in the way it's presented.
We're just making sure,
Okay. Just making sure, yeah.
just to verify, everything else that was said.
Yep. That one there is probably more legalese than all the other ones. But there's legal language in all of them. This one you don't have to sign, it's the 1038G. I don't know if you've seen those in
No,
your travels.
no.
No, you don't, it's just tax exempt.
I saved the last few guys.
Oh, there's no, oh, I see. I guess you just need a majority.
Thanks, Paul.
All
That's it.
right.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it for that.
Thank you very much for your patience.
No problem.
Just
Is what it
It's a
is.
process that's gotta be done.
Yeah, it's gotta be done.
Yeah.
I feel like I just bought a house. 600 signatures and, and you don't read anything, so it's the same thing.
You helped the town buy a pool and a Harkness Road pump station.
There you go.
Okay. We can go on the next one?
Sure.
Okay.
Next one's a reserve fund
It's a
transfer.
reserve fund transfer request. There's, I guess we have to do them tonight. The appropriations committee's meeting Thursday.
Mhm.
So hopefully to go over these. The first one is well, unfortunately, I just found all the information. That's what helped if I passed it out to you. Thanks, Tom.
Apologies for the extra. That was for the extra election.
Okay. And what this is, it's simply talking to the Charter Commission in order to do the last step, printing those 6,000 booklets that went out.
Mhm.
The Charter Commission decided to just see if our office could do it, because we do bill printing and, we work with co-op
Mhm.
printing and, they all went to everybody's houses and everything. But, it came out of the clerk's budget,
Mhm.
and all this is doing is asking for a reserve fund transfer to cover it.
Okay. All right, any questions from the board?
Nope.
Okay. Then I'd like to propose a motion to approve the reserve fund transfer in the amount of $4,918 to reimburse the town clerk's office for the home rule charter booklets that were sent out to the townspeople.
So moved.
Oh, second.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good, you're all set.
Excellent, thank you, and I have one more. So, thanks, guys. This is,
What if we said no?
I lied.
You broke.
This last one is, again, as I said, it costs money to collect money, and the second page shows more of a detailed variance analysis, but what had happened is during the course of the year, we had accelerated the process to collect tax title or put liens on houses quicker. We were, waiting like an extra half-year cycle, but, the appropriations committee and accountant's office thought it'd be better if we try to cut down that receivables number. And it's money you gotta put up out front for advertising, for recording. We do get it back when they do pay their liens, but it's the money that, to accelerate the process, we did not budget for it. But to do all the recordings and the takings, and then 65 Avery Street. We're in good shape now. We just got the okay, we can go with whatever our next step is. We now officially own it. What had happened, and I think I mentioned before, could be, I think 8 or 10 years ago, the prior assessor mixed up the parcels of the land and the house itself. And that took a long time to go to land court. You had to wait 6 months, and it was a process. We finally got all that paperwork done. But unfortunately, it comes at, at a cost.
Yeah.
Exactly, about $2,000. So what I'm doing here, I'm just asking for the overage of
Mhm.
what it cost in our clerk's office, or the treasurer's office expense budget to cover those overages.
No, what did you say about appropriations? Have you talked to them about this? Is this something
Yeah,
that? Okay,
I talked to Sarah about that, yeah.
okay. Any questions?
Nope.
I would like to approve the request for the $11,200 reserve fund transfer for the purposes previously noted.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. Thank you, sir.
Plus, I don't have another one, that's it.
That's
Okay.
it.
You're not allowed another. We're gonna be mean our last night.
Thanks for your
Thanks,
patience,
Tom.
guys. Thanks, Colleen.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Paul. Thanks, Kevin. Good to see you. Okay.
All right, is everyone supposed to be here, Eric?
Kathy's on her way. I don't know about, Joe.
Okay. Okay, well then we'll do a couple things and wait and give her some time, so. I'd like to propose a motion to approve the open session minutes of April 13th, 2016.
April 13th?
Yeah,
Okay, so moved.
Second.
any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And this one, next one, I can only Kevin and I can do it because Billy was
Yep.
on the island somewhere, not Bondi's.
Second.
I'd like to propose a motion to approve the open session minutes of April 19th.
So moved.
I'll second on necessity. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And now we can do them, I don't think there's many changes, so I think we'll do them by month. I'd like to propose a motion to approve the open session minutes of May 10th, 16th, and 25th.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'd like to propose a motion to approve the open session minutes of June 8th and 15th.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I would like to propose a motion to approve the executive session minutes of April 13th.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'd like to propose a motion to approve the executive session minutes of May 10th and 25th.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And finally, I'd like to propose a motion to approve the executive session minutes of June 8th.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I think we'll skip a minute, number 8, we'll get back to that. Just a note, we're gonna send him I believe we're gonna send him a citation, something. Mike Boucher, who many of you know, was named the Lions Club Distinguished Citizen this year, and they had a dinner on the 14th, and they honored him at that dinner. And so the board will be sending out a citation honoring him for that feat. Next item is, we have a request from St. Mark's Episcopal Church, a one-day liquor license, beer and wine, on Friday, June 8th, 2016, from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at St. Mark's Episcopal Church, 1 Porter Road, in conjunction with their spaghetti dinner benefit for missionaries to Ghana. Insurance is on file. I'd like to propose a motion to approve the one-day liquor license.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, very good. I think if everyone's here that's gonna be here, we can invite the,
Did we have an RSVP from Joe?
She said-
Gonna be here?
okay, then we'll go on. You wanna do the Board of Health?
Yeah. I'd like to make a motion for approval of J.C. Carnival vendor food service application approved by Amy Pordorsky, Health Director.
So moved?
And second?
Yeah,
Second.
Okay. Any questions? No?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that was easy. Why don't we go back, let's see, we'll go back to number 8. It's the old fire station. And the question I had was, I thought, and I know Kevin wasn't on the board then, but I thought we had this all settled at the beginning of December, and we had decided to rent it to the J.C.'s. And then all of a sudden, when our interim town administrator came in, we'd already, I think, sent it out to all the town agencies to see if they wanted it, and we decided to, if I remember correctly, you can correct me, but we decided to let the J.C.'s re-rent it. So in any event, this is not quite that, but I'm just confused as to why we're still in that same process, but,
We're supposed to lease it out to them.
yeah, yeah. But what we're asking for tonight, and I'm glad you guys are here, maybe if you want to give your input, is, and it's not a huge thing, they're looking to use the building, the old fire station, for the purposes of the carnival. So was it June 30th through July 4th or 3rd? So they're looking for and I have no problem with it. I don't know what the rest of the board,
I don't have an issue with it.
no, I mean, obviously it'd give them a central location to do things and the electricity and whatnot, so, and obviously the carnival is a benefit to the town, so, brings in business.
Well, they just put electrical service in there too, so
Oh, did
they
they?
don't have to go through that baloney every year.
All right, great. Any further discussion?
No?
I'd now propose a motion to approve the use of the old fire station by the J.C.'s during the time frame of the carnival.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. You want to do the meeting?
Meetings, invitations, and reminders. Police Department National Night Out is Tuesday, August 2nd, 2016, from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the high school parking lot.
We want to add to that July 1st, 6:30 here?
don't know if it's the time been established for July first? The time hasn't been established yet, but the date.
Date.
Okay.
The date's set in the charter, but the time isn't.
And it's here?
I would
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, okay, all right.
We'll be in that conference room with the town halls being used. So the accountants won't be out of there by July 1st.
Yeah, I think
We
we're
don't
gonna.
really have much of a choice.
Well, I think we're talking about either having him here, or I know Don was talking about maybe having him over at the school, since it's already hardwired and everything for the school department meeting, so maybe we can discuss that with Don at one of our first meetings and see, you know.
So July 1st will be the first town council meeting, but
Yes, yeah, we don't know exactly
date,
where.
time to be determined and location, I guess,
Yes.
to be determined.
All right, so in light of the fact that everything else involves our town attorney or the full town council, I'd like to propose a motion for a 2-minute recess.
So move.
Second.
Sorry, any further discussion?
You can't take
Sorry.
it.
Hearing- No, because they're not here. And we gotta have, they gotta be here for the hearing, so. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 I always wanted to do that. The only time I ever had to do that was with him and Mr. Turnberg. Yes. Ready now? Ready. All right, we're back. We had been waiting for the 7th member of the new town council, but we're not sure if he's actually showing up. So what I would like to do is invite other than Selectman Manley and I, the other 5 members of the town council up to have a seat, and we can briefly get introductions done, and if there's anything you'd like to talk about. Welcome all. We've got historic evenings all over the place. This one, on July 1st.
Mr. Gorman?
All right.
We'll go all. Nice to see you. Kevin? Do it then, Mike. Long distance. Long distance.
Yeah.
Won't get short lady.
Hi, guys.
All right, welcome all, and congratulations on your election.
Lorraine.
Same to you. So what we thought was we'd get you folks in, and you can, if you like, I mean, a lot of the townspeople know you already, but just maybe say who you are, and you know, then we can maybe discuss what's gonna happen. You know, I know you can get into more details about what our meeting schedule will be, and just for the, you know, just for the public, and then you guys can go off and enjoy the evening.
You wanna start, Kathy?
Sure, what am I supposed to say? Just an introduction?
Yeah, just an introduction.
Kathleen Hill,
And you, how many years were you principal?
principal at Birchland Park from 1997 till 2013.
Wow,
Retired now, 3 years, loving it. I also am an educational consultant for the New England League of Middle Schools. So
Okay,
I
great.
takes me around the 6 states, working with middle schools to improve their practices.
Great, thank you.
Eric Madison, most of my municipal experience in East Long Meadow has been with the Capital Planning Committee and the Appropriations Committee for the past, I think it's like 8 years now.
Okay, great.
Mike Kane, longtime resident of East Long Meadow, and own a couple different businesses in the local area. Strong background in aviation.
Don Anderson, I'm an attorney over 30 years. Town resident since 1987. Also own, with my wife, the Cruise Store here in East Long Meadow, and served on the planning board from 1988 until 2011.
Well, okay, great. Great, and as you know, we've all met Kevin, so we won't reinvent that wheel.
All right, good.
And there is a 7th person, Joe Ford, and I think Joe works at Mass Mutual, if I'm not mistaken, but other than that, I don't know anything about him, except I know whose house he bought, which happened to be a former selectman in town. So, but in any event, now we're coming up on, June 30th will be the end of the old form of government technically, and then July 1st we'll start the new. So I don't know if Eric, since you've been involved in the whole charter process, if you want to just explain about, you know, our meeting schedule coming up and what we're going to be doing, and
Sure. So a quick overview. The charter dictates that the council will hold its first meeting on July 1st. The exact time of that has yet to be determined by the council. at which time we'll be sworn in. That's the time that the Board of Selectmen cease to exist. During that first meeting, we have responsibilities that we have to carry out as outlined in the charter. For example, we have to elect a council president and a vice president. We have to name either an acting or interim town administrator at that point, and set the wheels in motion for what processes we're going to follow or that we're going to start to establish for the filling the seat permanently, as well as setting out a meeting schedule. So there's a lot of things that we need to discuss. For that purposes, we've actually have set a meeting for tomorrow night, right here at 6:30. Although we're not yet a council, so we're not yet, we can't make any decisions, we can't hold any votes, we can't take any action like that. We can discuss things so that on July 1st, when we have to make some of these decisions, at least we've had some discussion to that end. So we are going to meet here. We did post the meeting, although it's not we're not obligated to posting the meeting because we're not yet being a council, we're not held to the open meeting laws, but we felt it was the right thing to do in a good, transparent way to get started. So if folks want to come observe that meeting, they're of course welcome to. We are also meeting on Thursday night with the Appropriations Committee, where the Appropriations Committee is going to give an overview of the town finances, where we are at this point. Some of the things that we have been monitoring, the Appropriations Committee, has been monitoring, as well as just some overview of the budget, how it works, some of the terminology, so that folks will have some baseline education as we move into that responsibility. So that's really what's in the next week, basically, what's on our agenda. On July 1st, I'm sure we'll get rocking and rolling and establish more meetings.
Okay, thank you.
Can I
Yeah.
just say one thing
Sure.
about tomorrow night's meeting is, we have a representative tomorrow night, also coming from the Collins Center,
Right.
to discuss with us the process of, we arranged to have them come in, discuss the process of an interim, the process will be for filling the full-time position. Just, it's more what they can help us with, what they can't help us with, how it should be done, sort of an educational piece, but I think it's important that people know we've arranged for that representative to come in, and she's gonna give a presentation to us, to the board, just so we have it going forward.
Mhm. Great, thank you. And also, it's funny, well, not funny, but you talk about we're gonna have to hit the ground running. Not only do we have to, I think, and I'm sure you agree, maybe not, but the most important thing is gonna be a town manager, as we go
Absolutely.
forward. But equally as important in my mind is, we're going to be losing our building inspector as of June 30th, and much to our dismay, we're gonna be losing this young lady at the end of the table. So, and those are gonna be huge shoes to fill. And we're gonna have to, those three things are gonna be very important as far as, as far as putting, going forward and getting the town on the right track quickly. So we can discuss that tomorrow night, in
Yep.
greater length. And then I think it's great that the representative from the Collins Center is coming in. So other than that, is there anything that you guys want to add? I just wanted to get your faces out there in public. They're going to be out there enough, but just to do a little preemptive strike here and introduce you guys. And I think it's a good group, and I think we're going to be able to work well together and do what we have to do for the benefit of the town.
Yeah, I think we're all excited to get started.
Yep.
Eager to get to work.
Mhm. Okay.
And the lag time stinks.
What's that?
That lag time in the middle is no good.
It really was
The
a short
transition.
time, but it
I
seems
know, it
like,
seems like
it
forever.
seems long, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Feels like
It did.
Yeah.
I think we're all ready to start sinking our teeth into the business at hand.
Yeah, because it's tough when you know it has to be done and you can't do anything about it. So,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
all right, great. Unless anyone has any questions or comments, then I want to thank you guys for coming in.
One comment,
Yep.
that under the charter, until such time is a Board of Health is established by the town manager, once the town manager is brought in. So that potentially could be an extended amount of time, that under the charter, the current Board of Selectmen will continue to act as the Board of Health. not as a Board of Selectmen, but
Right.
the existing Board of Health will stay as the Board of Health until
Okay.
such time as they're replaced by
Town
the town manager. So I just hope that the board as it exists today is willing to do that and continue that work. It could be for several months, potentially. So I would just ask that you would all think about that, and if
Sure.
you can continue to act in that capacity as as outlined in the charter, that would be really helpful.
Okay. All right, thanks. We'll do that. Actually, I know you were counting on retirement, but he is the chairman of the Board of Health, so. But I suppose we could do it as a group, or however it work out best for everybody, so we can figure that out. But I don't think there's a problem with us continuing in some
Awesome.
form or another. All right, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Next time you'll be on this side.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is nothing new for you. You and Don is nothing new.
Tomorrow. Thanks, Kevin.
Mike had, try to reach over.
That's right.
Eric, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good.
She confirmed too, by the way.
Oh,
Mary-
good.
Mary confirmed, Eric, Mary confirmed this morning. From-
Okay, good.
So she's all set.
So what time is she set for?
I just told her we're gonna meet at 6:30, so
So if she's there, we'll do it first,
we can, yeah.
and then
I mean,
move on to the
let
other
her do
stuff.
her
that
thing,
we have.
yeah, that's fine.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Great, thank you. All right, we've got, what to do here, 'cause I think we have to start the hearing at the appropriate time. She's slumming. I'm wondering if, since we actually have 5 minutes, we have to start the hearing right at 7, or if the parties are here, okay. You wanna come up for a couple minutes? We can at least go over all we got left is you in the hearing and Sarah's not gonna be here for another 15 minutes, so. And we can just go over at least what executive, what isn't. How are you, sir?
How are you? Nice to see you.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Good, thanks.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 items, I believe. I believe 12 is.
12 would be executive.
13?
15 would,
No,
it's just a
13.
signature. If it's just for signature.
No,
unless you-
13.
13 would be, yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
I can give you,
Hmm?
there's a reimbursement for a former town employee that's on hold pending return
It's
of
for the
town
master-
Yeah, I
equipment.
don't really see where it would be necessarily,
Executive?
yeah.
Okay. What about 14?
14, and again, I don't know what that entails. I don't have anything in my packet.
I believe
here.
that's trying to find someone to
Oh, filling in. a s-
step in, yeah.
Yeah. That would just be a general discussion as to
Okay,
how
so
you're going to do,
that's-
because that's a
okay.
non-union position.
Okay, and like you said, 15 is just for signature. Is that
Right,
the contract?
right.
And then next one's, we're back to Waterman Avenue. That's not executive, is it?
No.
And then the last one, here's the last question we had. Do we have to approve tonight's minutes, because we don't have any more meetings?
We're not going to have any more that was going to be one of the discussions. My suggestion was going to be that you vote tonight to authorize the Secretary, Lorraine, to prepare the minutes, and then notify the board members individually that they're there to be signed. Go in and read them, and if they're acceptable, sign them, and if there are changes that you want to make, note those changes and submit those changes to Lorraine, and then have the board members come in and review them and see if they're in agreement with them.
Okay.
And that it would avoid the necessity of a formal vote.
Right, so we don't have to vote on anything tonight?
No.
Okay. Then that's what we'll do, Larry. All right, so we got one of these out of the way.
Before you move on, and I forget this, I do have an item I wanted to add to your agenda. It would be an executive session matter, and it would deal with a existing litigation matter of settlement for discussion with the board.
Okay. All right, so we still got a couple minutes. Why don't we get to item 13, which is the reimbursements. This is what happened. A town employee, former selectman, went to the MMA meeting and stayed, I think, 2 nights, whereas, I don't know, I've only stayed 1, but that doesn't matter, because you can't stay 2 nights the way it's scheduled. So this person was looking for reimbursement for the second night, and I think also for something else, right?
Meals.
Oh, meals.
Hotel or something.
Yeah, the hotel and meals. I
The way,
believe.
can I just say
Yeah,
something real
sure.
quick, Paul? The way it's,
You say it slowly, if you like.
my understanding of after talking with Sarah, is that it's not written that you can stay the following night. If it's more economical and convenient to go down the day prior, so that you register at like 8 o'clock in the morning, then you go the day before, stay that evening, register in the morning, go to the conference, go home when it's over. This particular individual stayed the second day and then submitted for reimbursement and for meals. So there is an issue with the travel policy wasn't followed either.
And also, there's still some outstanding items that the town is looking for, so I didn't know if we were gonna look at an offset, or if you could do that.
Well, I think the first determination to be made as to whether or not there's any entitlement to reimbursement under the existing policy.
Okay.
If the practice was to go down the night before, if it were for an early meeting, and that was part of the town's normal payment process, and then come home, that's one issue. If the staying of the second night is out of the ordinary, unless there was approval from the board prior to that for that policy, then there really is no
Okay.
basis to reimburse.
Okay, and then from what you said, that's what Sarah said, right?
Yeah, when I talked to Sarah about it, because, and I know part of the year-end cleanup was that this was on hold, so that she wanted to clear it up, so when I talked to her, it was, you should go the day, the travel policy dictates you go the day before, you can stay that night, then you stay the night of the conference and go home, whatever, it might be 2 days, or it might be a day, but you don't stay the following day after the conference is over and then are normally reimbursed. It's not how the policy's written.
So if the
So that
policy-
sounds like, yeah, it sounds like
If the policy wasn't followed, it would be within the discretion of the board to approve it, but it's really not something that you would want to set a policy or precedent.
So that was, the other issue is.
yeah, so if it's not part of, if it's not standard policy, then I don't think that we have to do anything, anything other than just
Give direction to the
give
council.
direction to Sarah to say it's not covered under our, our expense policy, so, okay. All right, now, it's 7 o'clock, so we're gonna throw you out for a few minutes.
I'm leaving.
In a nice way. Okay, we actually have a 7 o'clock hearing. Now, do you have the, and why don't we invite everyone in the back up? It wasn't just the town council that we needed all these chairs for, right?
Exactly.
All right, Jim.
Great. Good to see you.
Hey, Jim, how are
Good to
you?
see you, Bill.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Paul Federer. Hi,
How
Jim.
you doing?
Dave Ryan?
This is a little difficult.
Dave Ryan?
Nice to meet you, Dave.
Thinner table.
How are you? Kevin David Ryan?
How are you? Paul Federer.
Kevin Bailey, nice to meet you. I wasn't intentionally trying not to shake your
What's
hand.
amazing is none of the water spilled.
Not yet, anyway.
Kevin Bailey, nice to meet you.
Okay, this is a hearing, so I'd like to call a hearing to order, and I would like the clerk to read the hearing notice.
Notice is hereby given under Chapter 138 of the General Laws that Leonard E. Belcher Incorporated, Edward C. Hugh, President, has made application for a retail package store license, wine and malt beverages, gas station convenience store at 227 Shaker Road, East Long Meadow, Massachusetts, 01028. Paul Morrissey Jr. is the manager. Description of licensed premises. I'm planning the Selectman's office. The Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing on this application today, Tuesday, June 21st, 2016, at 7 p.m. in the media room at the Council on Aging, 328 North Main Street, East Long Meadow, Massachusetts, 01028.
Thank you. Because this is a hearing, what we'll do is we'll hear from the applicants first, and then we'll hear from the board with any questions or comments. And then if there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak, either pro or con, then they may be able to speak, provided that they tell us their name and street address. So let's begin. Why don't you give us, I know the lawyer usually talks because he gets a big buck, so why don't, if you'd like, so someone can, no, whoever wants to speak as far as what the project is and what you're looking for.
Well, thanks. I will start, but I'll let others fill in.
Okay.
I'm Jim Shields. I'm the attorney representing Leonard E. Belcher Incorporated. With me this evening is Ed Huff, who is the president of Belcher, Dave Ryan, who is the chief operating officer, DJ Orr, who is, I'm not sure of your title, Dave, but
Vice President.
Vice President, and then Paul Morrissey, who is the proposed manager, and Nate Deo, who is the proposed substitute manager. And what we are seeking is a beer and wine license for the gasoline station and convenience store that will be constructed at the corner of Chestnut and Shaker. We have received all of the necessary approvals, site plan and special permit from the planning board, and the approval of the Conservation Commission to erect the facility there. We think the facility itself will be an asset to the town, and we also believe that the addition of the ability to sell beer and wine would be a benefit to both the company and to the citizens. We expect to be, based on the schedule we have from our contractor, we expect that the construction will be beginning probably in early September, early to mid-September, and then we'll be proceeding as expeditiously as we can based on weather conditions. That's really all I have to say. If you have specific questions about either the facility or anything else, obviously there's a wealth of information that's sitting on both sides of me, so.
Okay. Before we do that, is there anyone else who would like to add anything? You don't have to, I'm just saying, but, okay.
I should add that both Mr. Morrissey and Mr. Deo are TIPS certified.
Okay. Okay. Any questions from the
All
board?
right, yeah, there's not gonna be any Dunkin' Donut on the side, huh?
No, there had been some discussions
Yeah,
with
there's
them
been
early
quite a
on.
bit, yeah.
They proved not to be successful, so, no. There will not be a co-brand in the facility.
Yeah, is there a reason that you can't, or,
Put Dunkin' Donuts in there?
yeah, mainly because it's a drive-through?
Well, they will not go in there. It was not approved by Dunkin' Corporate because no drive-through, and because of the proximity of their other location. Actually, not just the one location, but they have one in Long Meadow that's not too far away.
Mhm.
And they just felt that the market was saturated.
Yeah.
With no drive-through, that would be a problem for them.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right. Any questions? Okay, since we don't have any questions, you folks have stated your case. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak either for or against? Yes.
Mary Ellen Fish, 259 Chestnut Street. At a convenience store, I'm sort of concerned about the employees, that they would always be people that would be conscientious about checking IDs and everything.
Okay, I'm sure someone can,
Well, Belcher already has, I believe, 2 other facilities in Massachusetts where they have beer and wine license. They're very familiar with the requirements. They're very scrupulous in observing the requirements of both the town and the state. And we recognize that sale to minors is a serious offense. So I can assure you that every attempt will be made to make certain that everybody is properly carded or whatever other identification they need to produce.
okay. Did you hear that?
Just barely.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I should have said that before you started talking.
Yeah, I would have spoken more loud. Belcher has 2 other convenience store facilities in Massachusetts which have beer and wine license. They're very familiar with the state and local requirements in terms of age restrictions and the like on the sale of alcoholic beverages. And they will be scrupulous in doing their best to enforce the laws to require proper identification from anybody that's purchasing, whether it be a driver's license or some other form of state-issued identification.
There's also package stores just a short distance away.
We will do a better job.
All right. One question I had before we get going into the different items is, do you have a schedule for alcohol sales hours? Because I noticed that was missing from what we have here.
I didn't realize it was missing, but it would be whatever I know there are state law requirements.
Mm-hmm.
We would comply with those. We don't expect to ask for any extensions of those beyond what is permitted by law.
Okay, I know I've got this here. For example, we have, I think, 3 or 4 different ones here. And for the most part, the state, Monday through Saturday, it's 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. I believe it's 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Sundays, although not everyone adheres to that. We've got some that start at noon on Sundays, and some, but those are the times. So if you can, obviously, if we're gonna vote on it, I don't know if you can get an idea of what you're gonna do, because I don't wanna, vote on the actual hours of operation without knowing what they're gonna be.
Well, I mean, if.
I mean, I know the hours of operation for the place is gonna be 24 hours,
Right, but.
but you're not gonna sell alcohol 24 hours.
No, we can't.
I know you can't, so.
No.
It's allowed by law is what we would opt to do.
That's right, whatever the restrictions are, if it's 8
Okay,
to
so
10
it's
or
8 to
whatever
10, and
during the
then-
week, and then whatever the hours
10
were
to
on some,
8,
those would
okay.
be the
Was
hours,
it 10 to 8
yes.
or was it 10 to 10 on Sundays?
10 to 8.
10 to 8, okay. Yeah, all right. Then that's fine. So what we'll do is we'll take these, obviously, actually, now they say that the beer shop is 10 PM on Sundays, so,
Oh, this one says 8 PM.
yeah, a couple of them say 8. Well, that we'll probably keep it, that's a typo, but in any event. Okay, we'll go through these individually. I'd like to propose a motion to approve the retail package store liquor license, wine and malt beverages for a gas station convenience store at 227 Shaker Road.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to propose a motion to approve Paul Morrissey Jr. as the manager.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to propose a motion to approve Nathan V. Deo as substitute manager.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to approve and obviously these all went through the planning board, the hours of operation, which would be 7 days a week, 24 hours a day for the actual facility.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to propose a motion for the hours for the sale of alcohol being the hours that are set forth by the state requirements.
Yep, so moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Don't be to take care of this thing.
We're pleased and proud to be part of your last business.
Yes, there you go, yes.
Thank you very much. Kevin, thank you very much.
All right, let's see. A few minutes early for Sarah. Want to come up for a few minutes again? I hate to keep doing this to you, but. And I assume that what we have to talk to with the chief is also executive.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
But we can go through, I forgot, no, the selectman office regarding the staff.
That was the Lorraine.
Yeah, but we were trying to figure out,
We have an employee who has recommitted
Yes.
herself to that position.
okay,
I've already spoken with the clerk, Tom,
yeah,
and it's okay with him that she goes down and kind of cross-trains a few hours each day, so that
2 hours today.
it's a few, depending on what she's learning, like if it's just a bigger project, he doesn't have a problem with her being down there to learn it, thoroughly. So when Lorraine does leave, she can step in and fill that role so it can be permanently filled. So that was after our last meeting, I kind of wanted to make
Otherwise, you're
sure,
gonna be in the
A,
truck.
that she was still interested in that position, and B, that it was gonna be okay with Tom. And he was all right with her being out of the office for that time, so.
and that's not a problem, right, because it's not a union position?
not a union position, she's going to be filling in that position until it's determined how to fill that position.
Correct,
going forward.
even if we determine it's her, that's gonna be there permanently. Okay, great.
Correct. And she would then move out of the union and become a...
Right.
Yeah, okay, so.
Now, would she take a leave of absence from the union?
She's not now, only because it's only temporary. She's just gonna, like, for example, I know Pauline is actually out longer than we had originally anticipated too. So there's some issue with processing payroll and those sort of things. So Lorraine's gonna show her, the new person, to how to do that. So she's just gonna fill in when Lorraine leaves. I mean, we can address it if you wanna do a leave of absence because it's a non-union position. I mean, I can address that with her. I didn't talk about that with her because
Was the union present agreeable?
yeah. I talked to her too. I forgot to talk to so many people. I forget who I talked to, but I did talk to all the parties involved were sort of amicable to making sure it works.
Good. All right, so we don't have to vote on anything, right? We just proceed with that?
Yeah, pretty much just that
Okay.
you're looking for a person to fill that position, and she's going to apply, and the process has been approved with her department head.
All right. Now, next item, which is Waterman Avenue. I know we've been through this, but I think.
Let me ask you a question before you do that, though. Are you going to be, is it your intent tonight to fill that position on a temporary basis
Yes.
now? Then, yeah, you should vote
Okay.
to fill it,
Yeah.
because there's no one else to make that decision at this
Okay.
point in time.
All right, then I'd like to, can we use names?
Hmm?
Should we use names or just,
Yeah, I would say you have
You
to.
should.
okay. And it is what I think it is, right?
March.
Yeah, okay. So
Yes,
I
yes,
don't
it
want
is.
any surprises here. I don't know they're talking to somebody else. I'd like to
You don't
propose a motion to approve Marge LaRocca to come in and temporarily help out with the selectman's office in Lorraine's position, with Lorraine training her and her carrying forward from there until we fill the position permanently,
So move.
Second.
until somebody fills a position.
Yeah.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Now, next item. Now, this has been going on back and forth for a long time. And I can tell you're thrilled. And I think you had said, I've heard all sorts of things. I've been talking to a few people, and I think you may have told me a lot of them, that actually, when this person first bought the house, their house was undervalued as far as, they actually got a deal in the beginning.
This person being who?
The gentleman in question.
He bought a vacant lot,
Oh, okay, so,
and then he
okay.
built a house on the
Okay.
lot. And it was assessed at different values during the time of construction. That's my understanding anyway. But I gave, I think, the board a letter that I
Yeah.
written a year or two ago
Yeah.
when this information was fresh in my mind. And
Got everything.
he had, he and his wife had applied to the assessors in 2009, I believe, for a reduction in the tax. They wanted an abatement.
Mhm.
They had not applied for an abatement before that date. And the Board of Assessors granted an abatement. The property owners thought the abatement was not sufficient enough and requested an additional abatement. The assessors reviewed again the property and granted a further abatement, and the dollar amounts are all in my report to you last year. No appeal of the grant of that abatement, the amounts, was ever taken. It just accepted the amount that the assessors had given. And then at some point, a year or so later, or 2 years later, at some point, sold the property to a third party. And at that point, there eventually was a revaluation of the tax base,
Mhm.
and the valuation of the property was further reduced. Part of it due to a clerical error in the way they assigned one of the second floors. They gave it more credit than, as a reduction than it should have gotten. And so the new property owner was paying a different rate than the prior owner had paid. The complaint was that the Board of Assessors looked at it, said, we can't do anything more. There were no appeals taken of any of our decisions, and we don't have any authority to go further. Selectman Gorman asked me to meet with he and the property owner to talk about this. We did. And then I did a review as requested by the board. And it appeared to me at the time, and it still does, that there's no authority statutorily or in the powers of the Board of Selectmen to grant any type of abatement or reduction in real estate tax based on real estate. It all fits in with the assessor's authority. And the Board of Assessors' authority to grant abatements or to reduce taxes for prior years terminates if an application for an abatement isn't filed, and if it's denied or approved and insufficient in the eyes of the property owner, that action is appealed to the Appellate Tax Board, for which a determination is made. If that doesn't happen, then the Board of Assessors loses its authority to adjust the taxes for that year or any prior years. So that was my analysis a year ago, and I been given no new information that alters any of the findings that were contained in that report that I gave to the board back in the March of 2015. I don't think there's anything that the town has the ability to do, other than to appropriate just money and give it to these individuals for no basis other than to say, here, we want to do it. But there's no legal requirement or authority that you would need to do it.
And there's nothing, and as you said, we have no authority to do that.
You have no authority, correct.
Okay, that would have to be the assessors.
Even the assessors don't have the authority. What the
Right.
authority that the board would have had in the past would have been to go to the finance committee and say, well, we think this family was treated unfairly, appropriate some money to pay them back for taxes that they paid in past years. But at this point, there's really nothing more that the board's going to be able to do, given the July 1 window that's coming up.
Yeah, okay. All right, thanks. Now, I think all we have left is executive items, so Sarah's here, so if you don't mind going back to, if you don't mind going back to the bullpen for a minute, Sarah's here. Oh, great. Oh, she got a backpack.
Just in case you have a question, I'd rather be prepared.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you. Hi, good. Okay. So, I am here tonight, if you recall last year, under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 44, Section 33B, between May 1st and July 15th, we are permitted to do, I call it interdepartmental transfers, that if one department or one area went a little over and one was a little under, that then we can make that swap. That you're allowed to do that either $5,000 or 3%, whichever is the greater dollar amount. So since we aren't actually completely done the fiscal year yet, I'm coming tonight, I'm going to give you the estimates as of right now with encumbrances, but the numbers might change ever so slightly. So what I'm asking is for permission to use monies that might be over in other departments to cover the departments I'm going to list that have some overages as of right now. As final POs, as final invoices come in, then the amounts might drop or might go up a little bit. So that's why we're not going to, I'm not asking for you to approve the exact dollar amount, just the general idea to be able within a certain range. Okay? So, the first item is something that we had discussed at budget time, is that between accounting and the IT department, we share an accounts payable clerk that does that work for the accounting department, and on the IT side, he's the bookkeeper, timekeeper for them. So in the past, my predecessor had just allocated a flat dollar amount, but for fiscal 16, I wanted to track actuals. So I had him track actuals, and every pay period, we actually charge it to the correct department. Turns out that the accounting department uses more of this individual's time than the IT department, so therefore the accounting salary is over, and IT looks like it has a surplus. So all I want to do is when we finish with the final time card to just make the appropriate swap, because in total we had budgeted enough for the individual. It was just which department it would be in. The next items are the treasurer's department. I know he came for a reserve fund transfer. It's looking like he'll still be over a little bit, about $1,200, $1,400. The legal department is currently over just over $5,000. The licensing registration department, I know he came for a reserve fund transfer, and that should cover that difference in that department. The police department, right now we are estimating that due to overtime, that in the salary aspect it will go over about $16,000. From their non-salary, they do have $21,000 or so that we're projecting. However, according to that law, I'm only allowed to do $5,000 or 3%. So the maximum amount that I can take from non-salary to salary is only $4,900. So the remaining amount I'm going to have to cover from another larger department. The COA does have a deficit of about $508 or so, even after that reserve fund transfer that had been approved, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks ago. The Celebrations Historical Cultural Department is over $717. Liability insurance looks like it's over about $8,200. And then the last, well, there are two more items. One is that in the library, we had a savings in the salary due to when the director left, that the interim person was is a lot less. So they have about $20,000 in there. They have a lot of furniture that needs to be fixed, chairs that are falling apart, things like that. So they have that need in their non-salary. So it would be moving it from salary to non-salary. Due to the 3% rule, then I would be able to move $17,493.27 for them to replace those items that are in desperate need of repair. And then the last thing is that we have a snow and ice deficit of $31,241.
It didn't snow.
Salt goes into there, so we did
okay.
have to salt a lot.
All right,
And so we do have that. Now, the other items I do think that we will be able to cover completely with some under amounts in other departments. The snow and ice, I'm not 100% sure right now if we'll have enough, and if not, that then I would want to do a reserve fund transfer request for the remaining amount there. I am on the Appropriations Committee agenda for Thursday, so part of Mass General Law says that I get the board's approval, and then I also get appropriations approval, and then I'm able to make those transfers. So that's what I'm asking for tonight.
Okay, and we don't have to, obviously, research this, we don't have to do exact dollar amounts.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Any questions from the board?
Nope.
All right. Want me to repeat that? I'd like to propose a motion to allow the town accountant to make necessary transfer, interdepartmental transfers to cover the shortfalls with the overages for the accounts that were noted.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And do you need to take a separate one that if I need to do a reserve fund transfer for the snow and ice?
Okay, I still don't get that.
I don't either.
We didn't have any storms.
Not all.
Right, well, you could discuss it with DPW. One of the
Yeah.
parts about snow and ice is that you have to budget in a certain fashion, or you can't, there's a lot of restrictions about what you can and can't do there.
Oh, okay.
So, we intentionally keep that budget at the same level, and therefore then say, okay, well, if it's a really snowy year or a really icy year, then that's gonna play a fluctuation. In other years, it's not. If by doing a reserve fund, then we don't have to raise it in the tax recap for next year, and we try to avoid that, and we've been one of the few communities that, for instance, for the 2 years ago, or last year, whatever it was, that had all that snow and ice, that we weren't having to amortize it over 3 years, which a lot of communities did have to do, so.
So you're asking us to approve a potential reserve fund transfer, or?
Give me permission to go and ask the appropriations if I'm not able to with these
okay.
other departments to
Yeah, 'cause
cover
we
that
won't be
amount.
around,
I
so.
was gonna say, how long is that gonna take? Because
It should just be within the first couple of days of July, that then I'd know the final numbers.
And that was, so you'd be,
but appropriations isn't around.
Right, and so I'm gonna
Then,
ask them
right?
the
So,
same
you're gonna go
thing.
Thursday and ask them and say,
Okay.
I got you. All right, I
Because
follow
it
you.
should
All right.
just, if it is, it's
bless
probably
you.
only gonna be maybe 10,000 at the
All right.
most, so.
No, I was just
yeah.
curious how that was gonna play out, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
okay. So I'd like to propose a motion to allow the town accountant to request a reserve fund transfer if needed for the accounts that may have shortages.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're all set.
Thank you. Did you have any questions from any of the,
Oh, no, but we determined that since I believe you researched based on what Selectman Manley said, that those expenses for the MMA conference did not fall under so we're not doing anything about that, so.
okay, and then the other question was about the police department,
We're doing.
Oh, you're about to do that?
We're doing that in executive,
I'm
yes.
sorry. Perfect, thank you
All
very
right.
much, gentlemen.
Take care, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Hey, Jim. Third time's a
You wanna come
charm.
back,
you
Jim?
know? It's- Yeah, we'll do it first. All right, so like I said, we only have executive items, correct?
Correct.
I would like to propose a motion to go into executive session to discuss matters relating to contract negotiations, existing litigation, I believe, I think that's it, right?
No.
Well, yeah, I think that's part of contract, so, to return to open session, only to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Selectman Manley?
Yes.
Selectman Gorman?
Yep.
Selectman Federici, yes. All right.